A father should present the fundamental qualities of leadership, responsibility, and accountability, as well as the capabilities of planning, disciplining, and loving. Fathering is a full-time job. Miles Monroe. This is Dadography, a podcast with stories and insights on fatherhood from dads around the globe, dedicated to providing you with the tools and tips to become a better dad.
Hi guys, welcome to the Dadography podcast. My name is Vic Brown, and for today's episode, we have compiled more quotes and insights you can learn and glean from on your fatherhood journey. We are currently working on some changes and improvements to the podcast as life continues to happen all around us. We will be back soon with new conversations and exciting new content. As always, thanks for your continued support.
One of the things that I've said to my children before, I've said to them that everything you want is on the other side of effort. I think if a parent can teach their child or children to love to learn, then they'll always push forward. Being a team player is a life skill. It will serve a person on so many fronts because there are very few things that you do by yourself. And if you're honest, even if you do a substantial amount by yourself, you're still able to acknowledge there are other role players. Well, I'll tell you this, and as you know, we interview dads from all around the globe. There are a few ideas and thoughts that have jumped across the Atlantic, the Pacific, and so forth a couple of times in these conversations. And one of those ideas is that dads want to be sure that their children are absolutely certain that they are loved by their father. Give thought to the person, even when you see the action, and not that it may bring you to the conclusion of agreeing, but at the very least, you'll be able to empathize, which I'm assuming will go a long way in terms of continued communication with your child. I think that fatherhood in general, and I've said it on this show before, is such a huge way to affect change in the world. I think fatherhood is at the premier of being able to affect social change, affect political change, affect just the status of how people deal with one another. We interview dads all over the world, and there are a couple of themes that are just reoccurring. It doesn't matter if I'm talking to a dad in Africa, India, or in this case, Panama. The reoccurring theme being time with your kids. And it's a constant that we encourage dads to, hey, listen, just do something with your kids. If you're not involved in any sort of mentoring program, that's cool. But if you see a child, whether it's your child or not, and there's an opportunity to just share some sort of encouragement or guidance, do it, man. Be mindful that what you say and how you say things to your kids can travel for years in their mind and have some effect. And that really speaks to how important it is as a father to take interest in our children's interests. I think that there's an opportunity there to form some bonding and some camaraderie. A lot of times, some of the things that I'm trying to teach them, it makes sense, and if I can get them to see it, then it makes sense. But on occasion, I find myself having to realize, okay, now is this just a personal preference, or is this a principle? And I think we have to be careful with that. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily trying to turn my kids into little me's, right? So, trying to find the balance of allowing them to flourish as individuals, but still trying to instill principles. And so a lot of times if it's a disciplinary action that needs to be taken, before I look to implement, the disciplinary action, I have to say, wait a minute, is this a personal preference? Or is this a principle that, I'm willing to die on this hill for? To dads that are listening out there, depending on your economic situation, if you're not able to say, hey guys, let's hop on a plane tomorrow and fly to California and visit Disneyland, it's okay, bro. Feel at ease by finding your nearest local park and just hanging out. because that does represent quality time. Of all the fathers that we've interviewed from various continents, various, cultures, the one insight that has perhaps been the most reoccurring is spend time with your kids.
Thank you for listening. See you guys next week.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Dadography podcast. Thanks very much for listening. I would, however, like to invite you to be a part of the show. Visit our website at dadography.net. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, click on the microphone, tell us your name, where you're from, and what fatherhood means to you. Remember, it takes more than DNA to be a dad.